Welcome to Owie and Sandy Math Along. I'm Sandy.
And I'm Ollie!
Number 1, this is the AppleRouth Study Guide, page 430, 31, 32, on the PDF version of the AppleRouth ACT Study Guide. Okay, this is number 1. We have a triangle ACE. They tell us that triangle is equilateral. So that means all three sides of the triangle are equal to one another. ABDE is a parallelogram. Okay, so we know that these are parallel lines. These are parallel lines. We also know that they are congruent going across. Okay. We have B as the midpoint of AC. Well, if B is the midpoint, that means this and this are going to be equal to one another. Okay. AB is congruent to BC. The perimeter of ACE is 21. So that whole triangle is 21. So what that means, AC plus CE plus EA, or you can write AE, is equal to 21. Now, this is where the problem differs from yours because you have a different value. Okay? Find the perimeter of ABDE. We want the perimeter of the parallelogram. So to get the perimeter of the parallelogram, we have to add up AB plus BD plus DE plus EA. Okay, so we just have to add up all four sides, but we have to figure out how big are those sides. Well, our biggest clue, because it's the only number we have, is that all three sides together of the triangle equals 21. Well, let's use that and the fact it's equilateral to figure out how long each side is. So if it's equilateral, they're all the same. They all add up to 21. So if we just take 21 divided by 3, each side of the triangle is equal to 7. Okay? Now, from A all the way to C is 7. B is a midpoint. That means AB, just that part there, is half of 7. Okay? Because it's a midpoint. So it's 7 halves, aka 3.5. So my AB for my parallelogram is 3.5. Because it's a parallelogram, we know it's congruent to DE. That means DE is also 3.5. BD, from here to here, we don't know yet, but we know E to A to E is just one length of that triangle. So that means it is 7 units long. So if AE is 7 units, it's a parallelogram. So BD is the same. That's also 7. Okay, so now we can add up all four sides. And that would be 3.5 and 3.5 is 7, plus the 7s that we already had. And we end up with 21. Number 2, we have a figure here. If we count it out, it's 6 sides. It's a hexagon. We know BE bisects ABC. Okay, angle ABC. That's this here. Okay, your letters on yours are a little different. Make sure you're paying attention. So the angles on both sides of that BE are equal or congruent to one another. And we know AB is equal to 8. Your number's different. What is the area of ABE? Well, the area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. So just looking at this triangle, and I'm going to outline it so we can kind of focus on exactly what we're trying to find. Okay. I don't know the height, but I do know the base. The base is 8. So 1/2, 8. Now we have to figure out what is the height of our triangle, because that's not given. But let's look at some of the other clues they gave us. They said that in the hexagon, all angles are congruent. All angles are equal to one another. So that means it's a regular hexagon. That means every single side is 8. And they also tell us about this bisector. Now, generally, they're not going to mention an angle unless you have to do something with the angles. Okay, so let's figure this out. Let's see, what are the angles in a hexagon and what would a bisector do? So you have a formula for that. N minus 2 times 80, where N is the number of sides. So the number of sides in a hexagon is 6. 4 times 180. I don't have a calculator or an Owen, so I'm going to do it to the side. Let's see here. 720. Okay, so total degrees on the inside of the hexagon is 720. Now there's 6 angles total. They're all the same because it told us that the sides are the same. That means it's a regular hexagon. So I'm going to divide this by my 6 sides to find out how much is each individual angle. I get 120. Okay, so each of these angles, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera or not, we'll see how good it is 120 all the way around. That means the one being bisected is being bisected into half. It's 60 and 60. Okay, we know that's a right angle. Well, if we know that's 90 and that's 60, they all have to equal 180. We have a special 30, 60, 90 triangle. So when you have a 30, 60, 90, side note, 90, 60, 30, your base B is doubled to get the hypotenuse and multiplied, let me put the square root first, by the square root of 3 to get the second leg. Okay, this is just a special rule of triangles. There's another one that goes along with 45, 45, 90s that we're going to learn about, and this happens to be one of those. So since I know it's a 30, 60, 90, and I know my base to be 8, I know my height over here is going to be 8 times the square root of 3. I can go through a whole proof with you in class. Trust me on this. You're going to need to memorize it if you can. Like, not if you can, you need to memorize it. Okay, and then our hypotenuse, not that it matters in this one, but that would be 16. Okay, all right, so we have our special triangle. Now we found our height, and we had to find the angles just to figure out that this is a special triangle and what that, there's a bug in here, and what that height would be. Okay, so instead of h, I'm going to put in my 8 square root of 3. Okay, and then I'm going to skip down below my little drawing here. 1/2 of 8 is 4 times 8 square root of 3. If you put this in a calculator, it's going to give you a decimal answer. The best thing to do is treat that square root of 3 kind of like it's an x. We're just going to leave it as is. Okay, 4 times 8 is 32. And I'm going to leave square root of 3 after it. So on my problem, the area of the triangle is 32 square root of 3. You Yours is going to be a little bit different because you're working with a different number on your sides. This is number 3. I've changed the problem a little bit, and it is currently Hispanic Heritage Month / week. I'm still semi-dressed like Shakira right now, so I turn this into football, aka American soccer. How much turf is needed to cover a football field that is 115 yards long and 74? I can't talk. How much turf is needed to cover a football field that is 115 yards long and 74 yards wide? Because we're in America, we're going to use yards. Remember, 1 yard is 3 feet. Okay, so your problem is very similar to that. They're asking how much linoleum. And if you don't know what linoleum is, it's just tile floor. Okay, it's flooring. So you could think of it as being a carpet if you want. Okay, so how much turf is needed? Well, I always like to draw a little sketch. Here's our football field, and we are going to say it's 115 yards long, 74 yards wide. 1 yard is 3 feet. So we multiply each of these by 3 to get the amount of feet. I'm just going to do it in my head. Sorry, I kicked the board there. That's 345 feet. That would be 150 and then 225 minus 3, 222. Gave you a chance to see what me and Owen's brain looks like there for a second. Okay, and when you're finding area of a rectangle, which is what this is, you're going to do length times width. Let me make that a straighter line because this is a rectangle. Okay, so area of a rectangle, length times width. We have our length, we have our width. So area of the turf is going to be 345 times 222. Shame on me for not having a calculator. Maybe I can speed up the video in this part. It'll be easy because once you take 2 times this, so 10, 9, 6, and then 690, and then 690, 0, 9, 15, 16, 7. And our answer, 76, 590. And that's going to be feet squared, square feet, as our answer. Okay, I have an additional hint for number 4, which we're about to do. I just want to run through real quick. If you have a triangle where you have 2 legs the same, okay, you can assume we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and that is a special triangle. Okay, a 45, 45, 90. I'm going to kind of do it off to the side like I did with that 30, 60, 90. If these are both 45, then whatever your base is, your hypotenuse is your base times the square root of 2, and your other leg is congruent or equal to your base. Okay? So in this case, if we had a 4 and a 4, that means my hypotenuse is 4 square root of 2. Okay, this is your hint because in number 4, we're going to come across a situation that deals with this exact thing. So make sure you know your 45, 45, 90s. Number 4, I hope you watched the hint on this one. We have a trapezoid ABCD, and they told us the area is 98, and they tell us that ED is 7, and that ED is congruent or equal to FE and AF, which means these are 7, which means by extension, that's 7. okay? And they want the perimeter. So we're going to add up all the sides. 7, 7, 7, 7. It's a lot of sevens. Plus whatever is over here. I'll put a question mark. Why not? Okay. Now, what are those question marks? That's what we have to find out so we can figure out our perimeter. So we're going to use the information that we were given. Well, they said that the area of the whole trapezoid is 98. And if you recall, the area of a trapezoid has an equation, which is the base 1 plus the base 2, which is the bottom base, divided by 2, aka the average, times the height. Okay, so let's fill in what we know here. We have 98 is equal to 7 plus the whole bottom, 21 over 2 times h. 98, let's simplify this, is 28 over 2 times h. 98 is 14 h's, and we're going to divide both sides by 14 to get that h all alone. H is 7. Okay, so up in our trapezoid, our h, that's our height, okay, is 7. Remember, height touches the base at a 90-degree angle and goes up to your highest vertex. That is 7. So if you watch the hint that I had just posted a moment ago, if you have two legs that are the same, that means you have a special triangle. We have a 45, 45, 90, and there's a special rule here for finding this hypotenuse. Now, can you use the Pythagorean theorem? Yes, absolutely. It's easier though, and the answer choices are going to make more sense to you if we use the special triangle. So that means the hypotenuse is 7 square root of 2. This is the exact same over here, 7 square root of 2. Adding this all together then, our question marks, 7 square root of 2, 7 square root of 2, okay? So 7, 7, 7, 7 is 28 plus. When you add with square roots, you kind of treat them like they're an x. So I have 7 square roots and 7 square roots. That gives me 14 square roots of 2. And that's probably your answer, to be honest with you. So let me look at the answer choices to see if that is one of them. Dang, it's one of them, I think. Yeah, 28, 14. There's your answer.
I'm trying, math it's hard. I'm not trying. Big with is like big with is like math class. 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 And I always get an F.
Number 13, lucky number